when we were trying to find someplace, like obviously we want to distill whiskey. No hate to the NDPs, the non-distilling producers. A lot of those put out fantastic whiskey. I really want to control the entire process. All the way down to, barrel selection to, fermentation, like every tiny little aspect that goes into what whiskey's going to taste like. I want to control that, but you got to start some point.
So the question is, how do we vote? So you've got two things up here. Well, actually, one thing you're both with two barrels. Barrel 1 or barrel 2, American Single Malt. This is barrel 2. The Oak Bowery, you don't get to vote on. We've already done that. The ballots go up in the event sequence, and there are 3 more opportunities for you to taste and vote. There's 3 single barrel wines to enjoy.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to see you. Yes, yeah. We toured with you a while back. I remember. She's the excellent videographer that does the drink. 118. Yeah, 118.
Oh, okay. That might be the softest 118 I've ever drank in my life.
It's magic.
That is the softest 118.
That's why TJ just was like, I don't believe it. I don't.
Oh, no. And they're both different, man. They're both phenomenal.
It is between 7 and 5 years old. It is 117 proof for the young lady. 117 proof. It is 4 grains, so it's got a little bit of all the grains in it. This is one of the most complex blends we've made in quite a while. All 4 mash bills, 4 different barrel types, multiple char profiles, different toast profiles. This is a very complex sampler.
And so we're working on our distillery. And when we were looking for some place to start sourcing whiskey from, our whole mission has been from the beginning that you can get good whiskey from a small producer. But even more importantly, you can get good bourbon outside of Kentucky. You can get great bourbon outside of Kentucky. And so when we started looking for folks that we could source from, like obviously there's a whole lot of big Kentucky distilleries we could have went and got whiskey from, and it would have been fantastic. But that's kind of counter to our mission and what we're trying to do, what we're trying to prove. We're going to distill in Alabama. We wanted to find somebody that's not in Tennessee, Indiana, or Kentucky to pull our whiskey from. And there's not a better distillery on the planet outside of Kentucky than right here.
Thank you.
108. I see your window. It's right there.
Let's try it with our mouth shut.
So, you know, when we came here, they've got the aged inventory that we needed. Like, that was important for us. There were a few good distilleries, just didn't have the aged inventory, hadn't been doing it long enough. There's a few that are, you know, just coming online we could contract with, but they got to have the aged inventory. They got to have something we can work with right now, and they got to be able to produce at scale. Because we really hope to, you know, get our product into the market and be able to scale it up. It's not going to be Jim Beam scale, but, you know, nobody is. So, you know, when we started doing that, we found Southern here, Statesville Contract Distilling, right here in North Carolina. We're really, really happy with the decision. I mean, y'all tried the Oak Bowery blend, right? Y'all think we made the right decision?
Yeah, sir.
What was that?
Just the Paragon, the blended 10 barrel.
Is that in a bottle anywhere?
Right behind you.
The black label.
That's the. Oh yeah.
That's the one we tried earlier.
That's the one I just had. I was like, and I said it when I said it the first time. I'll say it again where I did. That's the best pour I've had all of them.
35 to 140 ish. And the way we're doing the condensing cycle, we're not sacrificing quality at all. Yeah, it's a really nice, bright flavor of the barley.
You guys
A
are.
lot of
Hey man,
intense flavors in the barley.
you guys are doing this right. So are you going into the barrel at 125?
110.
You're lucky enough here to have a great distillery right here and do everything you can to support it, right? Like, this is, bourbon is an up and down kind of market, and right now the market's going down, and we have to support the folks that are doing it right. Big distilleries, you know, these big huge distilleries, they can pull levers and move whiskey overseas and do all sorts of dumb things. But, you know, some of these smaller distilleries, and believe it or not, like, if you've been to Kentucky, this is still a small distillery, right? We got to do what we can to support the brands that are doing it right, that are making great whiskey. So,
Guess what? No new stories to this. So everything that you've heard, get it to the field right there, okay? All right. For those of you who have been here before, take a seat again. Those who haven't, welcome. You went double flat. Say it. You put a really good distillate in the barrel. You're not waiting for that barrel to clean it up. All that barrel is doing good stuff. Modern whiskey packaging, circa late 19th century. Okay, this is how whiskey was shipped. There were some bottles and glass being shipped, but most of them being shipped in crockery like this. They're very heavy, right? Especially if I'm shipping 30,000 gallons a day like this. That's why it's got to go by rail. But I want you to see something. Remember, I said that Prohibition started in states here. Hunting Creek, if you drive 4.5 miles up the road, right before we hit the 901, you cross Hunting Creek. Name for a real place. We own that brand. We re-released it 120 years after it was outlawed. Our grain fields, we've got about 5,000 acres of grain in production at any point in time. We are the only distillery at this scale, which is we're not the biggest, we're certainly not the smaller. But we are the only contract, is 14% malted barley. We grow 100% of this corn, all within about 20 miles in this facility. We grow 100% of the wheat. We grow a lot of the rye.
Spend grain going out, everything in between. We use not only lab equipment like HPLC, high performance chromatography, all the way through to a GAC, so a grain analysis computer, and an NIR, which is a near infrared analyzer, but we're also using good old fashioned Excel, tracking, paper records. There's a lot that you get from that. There's a lot of patterns that you can recognize, and then you're able to not only solve problems before they become a main issue, but you can actually find where your efficiencies are low and then maximize the plant's efficiency.
How big a fan of malt whiskeys were you, TJ?
I mean, there's a few. Honestly, all the malt whiskeys I like are finished in such a way to hide the malt. And there's some high malt bourbons I'm starting to get into, but malt bourbon is different. It's like chocolate notes and all this stuff. If you're talking about like a straight single malt, it just tastes like iodine, a Band-Aid. Like, I don't know who would drink this crap. But I know there's like all parts of the world that thinks that's what whiskey's supposed to taste like, but to my palate, it's just awful. And so when I tried that, I'm glad he didn't take advantage of me, because if he would have bet me my house, I would have lost me. That was not a single malt. And so y'all tried it, right? Mm-hmm. Does it taste like a single malt? Would anybody here have said that's a single malt?
Nope.
It is a new category of single malt. And they have American single malt, but even American single malt is very much, in the traditional style. So this is a whole new animal. It is one of one. I haven't seen anything else like this or tasted anything else like it. So enjoy this bottle.
Scotch is done very differently. Scotch is done in a batch system. It's lagered, the grain's not on it when it's distilled. This is done just like bourbon. Continuous column, direct steam injection, grain on. So it's produced the same way that bourbon is. It is a truly American single malt, but it stands on its own. And we think it is today where bourbon was maybe 8-10 years ago. We think it's the next big thing in American whiskey.
Glad to have y'all here. Thank y'all for coming out and supporting this event. And thank y'all for doing what you can to support, the Southern brand and stateful contractors.